Hi, my name is Casanova, and I'm an instructor in landscape architecture, as well as a master's student in horticulture and a master gardener here in Lubbock. I'm here to answer your questions. Glyphosate is Roundup, and Texas Tech does use glyphosate to control weeds, but they use it with discretion. When you use glyphosate, you should always be very careful to control the drift, because it is the sort of chemical that will burn and damage plants around the target area. So use it with discretion and always use it in an appropriate way. You want to make sure the grass is really green and very healthy when you spray it. You want to wait about 3 weeks and you want to make another application, and then you always want to remove that dead grass and those stolons from the grass when you're done. If they're beneficial and they're only eating the leaves and not damaging your fruit, you might opt to not treat at all and just invite these pests into your garden, as they might benefit some other part of your orchard or some other part of your vegetable crop. Possibly try a light dusting of food-grade diatomaceous earth. Now, there's diatomaceous earth that's used in swimming pools, and there's diatomaceous earth that's used in gardens. You want to make sure you get this food-grade diatomaceous earth and lightly dust the area when it's dry and can remain dry for a while. What the diatomaceous earth will do is it will act as a kind of a fiberglass, which will cut and damage the insect and ultimately end up in death for the pest. It's a rule of thumb that you need between 1 and 1.5, but as low as 1 inch of rain or water a week to keep Bermuda grass alive in a Texas summer. We often overwater. Of course, this 1 inch won't include the water that might be required for some of your larger trees or shrubs, but in general, 1 inch a week is all your Bermuda grass will need to stay alive in a Texas summer. If the bare spots are near the edge of or bordering your flower bed area, you might consider making your beds deeper and capturing some of that dead grass area in your flower beds. As far as replacing bare spots in the middle of your lawn, I caution you about mixing grasses. Grasses are handled in different ways: when you mow, how often you mow, when you fertilize, and so on and so forth. So mixing grasses is probably not an option. You might opt to capture these areas in the middle of your lawn as beds by replacing some of that soil with better soil or improved soils, and planting and mulching xeric or native plants in those areas. Sadly, with the drought, we are seeing some bald spots and open areas in our lawns, which do make for great opportunities for weeds to flow in and seed in our grasses. You might have to suck it up and do some labor, but for the most part, there is maybe something you could tweak in the way that you're maintaining your lawn. If you let your grass grow longer, it will create a longer lay of grass, which creates a spatial barrier between those weeds that try to blow in. Nutgrass is a tough little booger. Everybody hates it. It's the nemesis of your garden, and there's really no real chemical way that will effectively control nutgrass. It's a stoloniferous little grass that sends out these rhizomes underneath the soil and creates this little nut or seed, hence the word nutgrass. And unless you pull that entire little thread with each nut along the way, you really can't get that out of there. So diligence, patience, and thorough weeding is the only way really to eradicate a nutgrass. You planted a bare root rose, which was dipped in wax to preserve the moisture in the roots and the rootstock. Sadly, Bare root roses, which are waxed, are not always of the greatest quality. Often they're damaged in the waxing and packing process. What you can do is you can soak the bare root rose stock in water in a bucket that completely submerges it for 24 hours, and then gently clip just the tips of the rose itself and the stalk that's there, and try to flake off gently with a gloved hand the wax that remains. Well, holographic yards would certainly be maintenance free, but I'm not sure that a virtual yard is exactly the answer for what we consider gardens. Remember, gardens are greater than the sums of their parts. They offer us the benefit of beauty and nature close to home. They invite wildlife and invite birds for us to view. They can often be quiet places of repose and thoughtfulness. So perhaps a holographic garden would be a good answer to a maintenance-free garden. But remember, not all gardens are equal when it comes to maintenance and their benefits.